In this video, I'm going to take a look at the enumerate function within the Python programming language, and I'm going to compare it to the use of manual indexing. Let's consider this computer program. We have a list that I've referred to as items, and within the list you can see we have 5 strings. The colour red, orange, yellow, green and blue. And here we have 5 print statements. Each of the items in the list called items has an index position, and we can see that index position is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now the runtime for this computer program is coming into view now. This program statement is responsible for this output because you can see the 0 is printed to here, and this is referring to the first item in the list, which you can see is red. So the string red is printed here. This is responsible for this output because this 1 is printed here, and this is items, and in the square brackets you can see 1, and that's responsible for referencing this, and it is sent to the output here. I'll just choose the last one, and you can see that this is responsible for this output. This 4 is placed here, and this is referring to the index position 4 in the list, which is the blue, so the blue is placed here, and the yellow and the green, I'll leave that for you to consider. The program was able to gain access to each of the items in turn because we use this name here, which is the name of the list, and in the square brackets you can see we have from 0 to 4, which are the index positions of each of these in the list. This is at index position 1, and this one here is at index position 4, for example. If we wanted to display each of the items in a list first, as shown in this computer program, it doesn't make any sense to have 5 separate print statements. If the list was 100 long, it would mean you'd have to have 100 print statements. The answer is to put the print statement in a loop and repeat the loop, in this case, 5 times. So we'll look at that on the next slide. This program has the same list, and here you can see we have got a for repetition construct, and within the construct we have got this. We're going to print I and items, and in the brackets you can see we have I. This program statement will execute 5 times, and each time it executes, the value of I will take up a different value. So I'll just go through how this is achieved. This is the length function, the len function, and you can see we're passing it items, which is the name of the list. And what this function will do, it'll inform how many items are in the list, and we can see there are 5. So this will return to the position the function is in, the value of 5. This is the range function, and under the circumstances of this program, it'll return 0 to 4. Now the reason it does that is because length items return 5, so range gets the value of 5 passed to it, and that will make it produce 0 to 4. Because it starts off at 0, it only goes as far as 4, because it generates 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which are 5 values, but it doesn't include the 5, and that's because we start off at 0. Now we can see this is a for repetition construct, and the 0 to 4 produced by this range function result in I getting each of those values in turn. So the first time we go into this loop to execute this, I will have the value of 0. So this will print out 0. This here will be 0. So this refers to item 0 in the list, which is red. Of course, we then go into the loop again, and this now will have the value of 1, the next value in the range, and this will have the value of 1. Consequently, we will have one output, and this is referring to items 1, which is index position 1, which is orange. So orange will be printed out. So the runtime for this computer program is shown here. Of course, this for loop ensures that I gets each of the values of the range in turn. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we look to this print, we can see the I, every time we go into the loop, will become the next biggest number in the range. So that's why we get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 printed here. Every time the print statement is executed, this is printed. And of course, every time we go into the loop, this value of I starts off being 0. The next time in the loop, it's 1. And every time you go into the loop, it'll go to 2, to 3, to 4. And that's why you can see here, it prints red, orange, yellow, green, blue, because we've picked up each item in the list in turn. We have looked at two ways in which we can print out the content of the list. The first way, where we simply had 5 print statements, is clearly something you should never consider doing. The next way showed us a for loop, which is the one you're looking at in front of you, and it worked, that's fine. But in Python, there is another more Pythonic way of doing it, and that is to use the enumerate function. And we're going to have a look at that on the next slide, which is coming up now. This program uses the same list, and we also have a for repetition construct. But if you look at this line, you can see it is different. And the difference, the main difference, is this here, the enumerate. You can see that this has replaced the range and the len, the length function, that appeared in the previous program. And if you look here, we don't just have I, we have item as well. And within the loop, you can see we print out I and we print out item. Let's consider the enumerate function. You can see here I have got a schematic diagram representing enumerate, and this will take an input, and the input you can see in the program is items. So on my diagram, I'm going to place the items that are going to be input to the enumerate function. And you can see they're going into the function, and enumerate will now work on that list, and it will produce the following output, which are 5 tuple pairs. In effect, you can think of these tuple pairs as being in this position. I'll put the tuple pairs underneath the program. And here we have got the repetition construct. And the first time we go into the loop, what will happen is that this tuple pair will be unpacked. And the unpacking means that this 0 will be given to I, and red will be given to item. So when you come to this line, you will print out the 0, and this will print out the item, which will be red. The next time you go into the loop, this tuple is unpacked, and I is given 1, and item is given orange. So this will then print out 1 and orange. Now the last time through the loop, this tuple is unpacked, and the 4 is given to the I, and the blue is given to item. And of course, this will then print out 4 and blue. So when you look at the runtime for this computer program, it'll look like this. We can see that the output from this program is the same as the output from the previous two programs in this video. But with this computer program, we weren't concerned about finding out how long the list was. We weren't concerned about generating the range, which allowed us to pick off each item in the loop. What happens here is we produce tuples using enumerate, and these tuples are produced from the list. So this tuple holds the index position of red, this one holds the index position of orange, and this one here holds the index position of blue. And each tuple is unpacked as you go round the loop. So there was no need for the len function, and there was no need for the range function. In effect, this takes care of indexing the list. We don't need to know how long it is. So if I was to increase this list to 100, then the enumerate would produce 100 tuples, 100 tuple pairs in this instance. So the enumerate function will look at this string red and say, well, you're in position index 0, so it'll put 0 and red here. The enumerate will look at orange and know that is in index position 1, and it'll put the 1 here and orange. And of course, if I go to the last item in the list, this one, what the enumerate will do, it'll produce this tuple pair because blue is in index position 4. So enumerate produces 2 item tuples. And in the case of this computer program, it produces 5 2-item tuples. The loop unpacks each tuple into 2 variables, and those variables are I and item. And consequently, this will just print the I and the item. And you will note there was no need for square brackets as appeared in the previous program, where we're explicitly pointing out the index positions. Let's move on to the next slide, and what we can see here, we have loop iterations, and we go round the loop 5 times, and we generate this pair from the enumerate the first time we enter the loop, and we can see that I becomes 0 and item becomes red. This is then what happens during the second loop iteration. The enumerate pair becomes 1 and orange, I becomes 1, and item becomes orange when we unpack the tuple pair. And finally, the 5th time round, you can see that we generate this tuple, and I becomes 4, and the item becomes blue because we unpack this tuple here. Moving on to the next slide, we can see we're looking at the program that we introduced earlier in this video, the one that used the range and the len function. Now, the approach shown here is typical of other programming languages, but we've seen with Python we can use the enumerate function. Now, this version you're looking at is more error prone. You have to manually manage the index. You rely on the len items matching the list you index. It's easier to introduce off by 1 errors. It is more verbose without adding clarity. Let's move on to the next slide, and you can see this is labeled why enumerate is better, and you can see the program is in front of you. Enumerate makes the intent explicit. You're saying give me each item and its index, and it does this by taking the list and producing tuple pairs that contain the index and the value at that index. Python handles the counter for you. You don't have to worry how long the list is. You don't have to use the len function or the range function. The other important feature of the enumerate function is Enumerate works with any iterable, not just lists. And of course, many iterables within the Python programming language are not structured with an index. Moving on to the next slide, let's consider this. It only works with sequences that support indexes. Now, enumerate works with lists, tuples, strings, generators, file objects, anything that is iterable. This makes it more flexible and future-proof. It's cleaner, more idiomatic Python. Python emphasizes readability. Enumerate is the community-preferred pattern because it communicates intent and reduces boilerplate code.